Coming up, all eyes on the nation's capital as President Trump is poised to announce his decision on the Iran nuclear deal. Plus, a fatal crash on Longboat Key closes a busy stretch of Gulf of Mexico Drive. And how will Manatee County pay for school resource officers on campus next school year? Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story today at noon. President Trump expected to announce later today if he will pull out of the Iran nuclear deal. The president sharply criticized the agreement even before he was in the White House, promising to get rid of it on day one. ABC's Karen Travers is at the White House.
Today may mark the end of the U.S. involvement in the Iran nuclear deal, a deal President Trump has slammed as terrible and one-sided.
It should have never been made.
European allies, including French President Macron and German Chancellor Merkel, mounted an aggressive pressure campaign to convince President Trump to stay in. The Israelis making the hard sell to dismantle it.
Iran lied.
When he waived sanctions on Iran in January, President Trump warned that it would be the last time he would do that unless Congress and Europe fixed what he called the flaws of the deal.
The Iran deal is a disaster. They're testing missiles, and what is that all about? You look at the ballistic missiles that they're going and testing. What kind of a deal is it where you're allowed to test missiles all over the place?
The key to this historic deal is that in exchange for sanctions relief, Iran agreed to restrictions on its nuclear program, including allowing inspections by an international monitoring body. Supporters of the agreement warn that if the U.S. exits, Iran will restart its nuclear program, and there would be no way to monitor it.
You certainly have to be a little bit concerned that it could potentially lead to war.
What happens next largely depends on how President Trump exits and how Iran reacts. President Trump could decide to impose all the sanctions that have been lifted on Iran as part of this nuclear agreement, or it could be some sanctions put back in place. Iran's president said on Monday that no matter what the United States decides, his country could stay in the deal as long as it's preserved by the Europeans, the Chinese, and the Russians. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
And you can watch President Trump's announcement live today starting at 2, streaming on our website, mysuncoast.com, and on our app. You can download that app from your app store. Just look for WWSB or My Suncoast. New at noon here on the Suncoast, a fatal crash shutting down the main road through Longboat Key this morning. The Florida Highway Patrol closing the road in both directions on the north end of Longboat. The town of Longboat Key reports it will remain closed until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Troopers say a pedestrian was hit and killed by 2 vehicles around 7:30 this morning. Investigators have not released any information about the victim or who was at fault. But again, Gulf of Mexico Drive shut down both north and southbound until 2 o'clock this afternoon, forcing drivers to go all the way around if they want to get on or off of the key. A possible reprieve for a former Sarasota County Sheriff's deputy accused of covering up evidence. Investigators say Carson Lee Plank tried to help Deputy Frank Bybee, who was accused of stealing from and trying to kill an elderly woman. Police say Plank not only failed to turn over evidence from the victim's home, but then warned Bybee about the investigation. Prosecutors say Plank can avoid prosecution if she completes a pretrial diversion program. Bybee was sentenced last October to 15 years in prison for kidnapping and other charges. A follow-up now on a weekend shooting in downtown Sarasota. Police say it could be connected to an alleged investment scam. Police say Saturday's shooting took place at a condo along Main Street. Court records show the suspected shooter, Ryan Flanzer, is involved in a lawsuit after making a 6-figure investment with a Sarasota business owner. Shots were fired into the unit right next to the one occupied by that businessman. Local criminal defense attorney Derek Bird says loss of an investment of this size could be at the core of the incident.
It's a pretty glaring motive as to want to seek retribution when you think that someone's basically stolen $300,000 from you.
We're continuing to follow this story today. Visit our website, mysuncoast.com, for updates. In Manatee County, deputies are still looking for a woman who managed to escape from a corrections facility in Bradenton. Silver Denise Bean was completing a 3-year sentence for cocaine possession at Bradenton Bridge. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says staff members at the facility noticed she had escaped during a routine head count Sunday. They think she may have gone as far as West Palm Beach, where she's originally from. Women detained at the bridge recently found out they would be going back to prison due to budget cuts cutting the transition program where they were enrolled. Happening right now, Manatee County school officials are meeting with county commissioners to figure out a plan to pay for school resource officers on every campus in the county next school year. The county voting down the proposal to cover more of the cost than they are already providing for officers next school year. The district usually splits that cost of SROs, but neither group can afford to pay for an officer in every school. County commissioners approved a property tax earlier this year that will generate more than $30 million for the district, but they're still about $1 million short to cover costs. Let's get a check on our weather on this Tuesday with meteorologist John Scalzi. And wow, what a gorgeous morning here in the Suncoast. I could feel a little lower humidity and clear
Makes
sky.
you want to stay outside longer.
It did.
I'll tell you one thing I've noticed, though, is that, I have a relatively olive skin, so I'm maybe not as concerned about sun as I should be, and I've noticed that even recently I can spend less time out before I know I need to be wearing a sunscreen because sun's getting higher and higher in the sky.
More intense, yeah.
And today it could create a problem with the ozone levels as we head into the afternoon. We'll see about that. Sunshine, of course, a key ingredient to ozone production at the surface, and it's certainly got plenty of sunshine out there. Blue skies, and the Casey Key webcam showing hardly a cloud in the sky as you look out over Gulf waters. A few more clouds in inland areas building this afternoon, but I think for the most part we are looking at a very, very pretty day. And as Scott alluded to, that lower relative humidity is felt by the lack of rainfall across really the entire peninsula. Not seeing much going on. There are a few hot spots across the nation, which we will cover in detail in a few minutes. Cloud cover down to the south, part of a frontal boundary that may impact our weekend weather. Again, we'll talk about that in a few. 85 out there right now. 83 in Bradenton, 83 degrees in Inglewood, 80 Longboat Key. Inland temperatures coming in the lower 80s right now as well. Top it out at about 90 degrees, just like yesterday. Little chance of rainfall and an absolutely beautiful evening in store for us. Have the complete forecast coming up in a second, Scott.
John, thank you. The search continues today for the armed robber who held up a Waffle House restaurant Sunday afternoon in Manatee County. Deputies say a man wearing a hooded sweatshirt and a ski mask walked into the Waffle House near State Road 64 and I-75. He demanded cash from the register and then left. No customers were there at the time of the robbery. If you can help find him, call Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS. An update today on the man accused of killing 4 people at a Waffle House restaurant in Tennessee. Travis Reinking will now undergo a mental health examination. Reinking did not appear in court yesterday. Instead, his attorney asked for a forensic evaluation for his client, which the judge approved. A status hearing will be held in 3 weeks, although his attorney says results of the mental evaluation will not be ready by then. 29-year-old is charged with shooting and killing 4 people at the restaurant last month. Happening across the state, the man who was acquitted in the Trayvon Martin murder trial is now facing stalking charges. George Zimmerman, accused of threatening and harassing a private investigator who was working on a documentary of the life of Martin. Zimmerman was a neighborhood watch captain when he shot the unarmed black teenager back in 2012. Investigators say Zimmerman bombarded the investigator with text, emails, and phone calls in December. Zimmerman's charge is a misdemeanor, and his arraignment is set for the end of the month. Happening today in Orlando, a new memorial is opening for the 49 people killed at the Pulse nightclub shooting massacre. A man attacked that club nearly 2 years ago. The One Pulse Foundation says the temporary memorial will open outside of the nightclub, which just had a new fence set up around its perimeter. The memorial is scheduled to open to the public at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Still to come in your Suncoast News, what Walmart is doing now to help in the nationwide fight against opioids, and why Hawaiian officials say the volcano spewing lava on the state's Big Island may continue to get worse before it gets any better.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers.
Thank you.
Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Our accolades are great. Just wait until you see our prices. Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score. It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach. Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
As we carry on with Hurricane Preparedness Week, we take a look at the next subject for today, and that is the Hurricane Kit. A supply kit to, if you plan to shelter in place or if you plan to evacuate, you'll need a Go Kit, which is an easily deployable, kit, suitcase, basically, packed suitcase with everything you need for about 3 or 4 days to evacuate to a hotel or friend's house or whatever. The Hurricane Supply Kit can actually be somewhat complicated in terms of what you want to put in it. I always think of it as kind of a kit designed to let you go wilderness camping for 3 days without electricity or shopping centers nearby. Everything you would need to properly survive. So if you have any questions about that, I recommend you go to my website or my Facebook page, rather, John Scalzi ABC7. And there I have put a link that will take you through the process step by step of putting together a custom-built supply kit for yourself if you plan to shelter at home, or a to-go kit if you plan to evacuate. Dry across the Suncoast. Oh my goodness, the drought index has just continued to rise, and so too does the fire danger index, an indication of how likely it is for a fire to spread if it gets started, or even get started for that matter. And right now, Charlotte County in the extreme category, and most everyone in the Suncoast in the very high category, with some places a little bit lower, but nobody out of the woods certainly. So it's a situation that continues to get worse. We need some rainfall. And it looks like we'll have to wait at least until the weekend before we start to see the possibilities back in the forecast. 90, our air temperature by 3 p.m. and a dry wind continuing to blow. Actually, I wish we had some rain around to help with the drought index, but if you're going to be 90 degrees, that nice, dry, fresh wind out of the northwest or northeast is a pretty nice thing to have, kind of cooling thing, at least making you feel a little cooler as you head into the afternoon. So not too terribly bad. 90 is tolerable with that dry wind. 85 degrees by 7 p.m. Should be a beautiful sunset with that breezy wind continuing, dying down a little bit by midnight, and overnight tonight look for a temperature of about 65. Right now, we are already at 85 degrees, plenty of sunshine out there, and the dew point just doesn't get any better for this time of year. 57, our dew point. That is just wonderful. By the time we get to the weekend, I bet you our dew point values are closer to the 70 mark. They'll be going back up again as our east wind, now at 11, will be switching back down to the southeast or south. Air quality, because of all the sunshine that we're getting, continues to rise. To the amount of ozone measured in parts per million is right now sitting at 95. That is as of yesterday at 1 o'clock. A new meter reading will be coming out at 1 o'clock this afternoon. I suspect it might be a little bit higher. If it gets just a little bit higher, it'll be in the unhealthy for sensitive people category, meaning that those folks with compromised respiratory systems, or young children, or very elderly, probably shouldn't have a lot of strenuous outdoor exercise in that kind of a condition. They should limit the amount of outdoor exposure. We'll see how it plays out. Sunny and dry today as we head into the next couple of days. I think we'll enjoy this big ridge of high pressure continuing to provide quiet and tranquil conditions on the Suncoast, just as it is through most of the deep south. Northwest wind at about 15 knots, becoming northeast overnight, and the forecast calls for a high today of 90. Tomorrow about the same, plenty of sunshine around. And then on Thursday, we'll probably start to see that moisture beginning to increase across the Suncoast. I think you'll really notice it on Friday as a kind of uptick in the humidity factor. And then over the weekend, we'll factor in those reasonable chances of afternoon showers and thunderstorms that'll linger into the beginning of next work week. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In HealthSmart, Walmart is tightening its opioid prescription policies by limiting the lengths of prescriptions and requiring they be filled electronically. The company plans to only fill first-time opioid prescriptions for 7 days or less nationwide. Walmart will also require e-prescriptions for controlled substances starting in 2020. The company expects online prescriptions to help prevent fraud and minimize error in the future. Well, this is National Nurses Week. As the nation celebrates the people who go above and beyond every single day, millions of these men and women across the country play a crucial role in our country's health care, keeping us calm, patching us up, and helping us feel better. Appreciation Week ends on May 12th, which is Florence Nightingale's birthday. She's credited with founding modern-day nursing. All of us here at ABC7 want to say thank you to all the nurses here on the Suncoast. Lakewood Ranch High School is trying to make the game of football safer. The school's football program investing in new helmets and pads in an effort to decrease the likelihood of concussions. Lakewood Ranch head football coach Chris Colton says these new smart helmets are state-of-the-art. They're equipped with 5 sensors that register a player's every move. Coaches say the new helmets will ultimately help make the game safer.
And what this does is just it gives us an actual data point and data set where we can lock in and see, whether the kid's showing symptoms or not. It can monitor when a kid is having excess contact, when the kid's had contact, where the contact has come. I can pull this device up and tell him if he's leading with his head, if his head's too low.
Only a few players will be wearing the new helmets during the spring season, but in the fall, every player will be ready to go with this new smart helmet and smart pads. All right, it's time for lunch now. Let's head over to the kitchen and say hello to our friend Anthony from Oak and Stone on University Parkway. Anthony, great to see you again. What are you fixing for us today?
Hey, it's great to be back today. So we're going to offer up our Voodoo Chicken Sandwich today. In my words, it's literally life-changing.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help. With Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
Some things have not changed much in the past 100 years. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. The musical Ragtime opens at Oslo Rep. We'll meet two of the stars and hear the award-winning music. Bookstore One brings us a new reading list featuring people who changed their lives and became philanthropists. Plus, we'll learn what the Sarasota Succulent Society is, and the Indian Table joins us in the kitchen.
Today at 4 on Suncoast View.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Welcome back. New developments out of Hawaii, where that volcano continues to spew lava and spread a potentially dangerous cloud of toxic gas as far as 60 miles away. As ABC's Kana Whitworth reports, at least 35 homes and other buildings have been destroyed so far.
Panic on the island as two new cracks in the earth open up.
Wow!
Spewing lava into a community already devastated by the wrath of the Kilauea volcano. Kilauea now violently erupting for 6 straight days, sending stress throughout the Paradise Island.
When you look out here behind me, you can see those plumes of smoke. Each one of those is a separate crack in the earth that is spilling out lava over Leilani Estates.
The neighborhood of Leilani Estates will never be the same. The nearly 2,000 people evacuated fearing the worst.
And saying goodbye and just hoping for the best, but not knowing.
Those who chose to stay, witnessing the destruction firsthand. The sheer destruction of this through your neighborhood, I mean, it'll never be the same.
Never, ever, never. Saw 3 houses burn yesterday with my own eyes, burned right down to the ground.
The lava now streaming through a line of fissures over 2 miles long, in places shooting up to 330 feet in the air. That's higher than the Statue of Liberty's torch. You can see the lava has destroyed that home right there, and it's also completely taken over this road. In some places, it is stacked some 20 feet high, and you can feel the heat radiating from it. The lava already reaching temperatures of nearly 2,000 degrees, so hot it can melt gold. Take a look at this time-lapse video of a Mustang bursting into flames as it's devoured by a wave of lava. And while the crisis continues, the community is coming together in the evacuation centers.
When everything is gone, there's just no way of replacing everything all at once. And to get back the little bit we've had, we can at least keep living.
Wow, that was Kana Whitworth reporting. Nearly 2,000 residents have evacuated their homes so far. And Hawaii's Civil Defense Administrator says there's no sign of that volcano slowing down anytime soon. All right, let's head over to the kitchen now. John is there with Anthony from Oak and Stone on University Parkway.
Always a pleasure having Anthony in the kitchen. Good to see you here, sir.
Well, we could go in front of those
you know, I didn't know if you had a glove on or not. So we're talking about a life-changing experience here.
Literally, like I said, life-changing. So this is our classic Zapped Voodoo chicken sandwich.
I love it.
When you eat it, it casts a spell on you. I mean, I can't really say much more. So what we'll do is we'll start off with some hot olive oil over here that's already preheated.
Okay.
We'll get a nice chicken breast that's pounded out pretty thin and breaded already with some Italian breadcrumbs and some panko breadcrumbs.
Nice.
We've got that oil going, so that'll start to get a little
let that do
sear.
its thing, and let's talk a little bit about the inspiration for this sandwich here. Looks like you got some sauces going on that are pretty intense.
That's in all. There's some basic ingredients, but when you mix them all together is what really gives that flavor. So you start with a insane Cajun-style voodoo potato chip.
These right here, right?
Those apples? Those bad boys right there.
You don't mind if I taste test one of these bad boys, do you?
So remember growing up when you used to love to put potato chips on your sandwich? That was kind of the inspiration behind that, was to almost feel like a kid again when you're eating something that has so much flavor still. So we do our Cajun-style voodoo chips, our signature house-made hot wing butter sauce, really classic shredded lettuce, some nice fresh tomatoes, salt, pepper, and then a little bit of a classic ranch on there. Then we put it right on our toasty hoagie roll.
Oh, so that sounds good.
This is kind of cooking up, not as fast as we want. Luckily, we already have one that's built out.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. You know, I know that in the restaurant you use these big old gas burner stoves that really heat things up quickly, and we just don't have that for you here. Yeah, but we appreciate you coming in and choosing a recipe. So after it's been cooked up, what do we see?
So after it's cooked up, we'll go ahead and we'll toss it with our hot wing butter sauce that we already have tossed on there. We'll put some classic American cheese on it and just bring it up to a melt.
Well, so you toss it like it's a hot wing or something like that, right?
So we would get it in a bowl.
Right.
We would add some sauce to it and just kind of go ahead and just toss it all together and get it nice and lathered up.
Nice.
Great thing about this sandwich is it pairs amazing with a lot of our beers that we have. And seeing that next week is American Craft Beer Week.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we're super excited about that. So 6 days out of next week, we'll have a local craft brewery, and they're doing a craft beer takeover.
Nice.
So really interesting. So if you're around,
You have a lot of craft beers over there at Oakenstone?
56.
I'm guessing maybe you do.
56
All
craft
right.
beers, 56, my friend. So the best part about this is the first layer of the sandwich, get some of our Zap chips.
There you go.
So we'll go ahead and layer some of those up. Once again, you know, one of our signature things is that we are crafty. So we like to just kind of place things on and not really put too much thought into it.
What a neat idea.
So we'll slap some chips on there, get that out of the way. Next, we'll go over our breaded chicken that's tossed in our hot wing sauce and has some melted American cheese right on top of that.
Man, yum.
A good handful, about a cup and a half cup worth of fresh shredded lettuce. Kind of stack that right on top. Tomatoes. Here's the secret, which everyone knows. You got to add a little salt and pepper to everything.
There you go.
A little bit of salt, a little pepper really helps brighten up those tomatoes.
And then do you add a little bit more of that hot wing sauce?
No, we actually kind of try to tone it down a little bit with our house-made butter ranch sauce over here.
Nice. Well, as you stack this up, cut it up, and put it on a plate, I'll remind everybody the recipe for it's on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining link button, and it will take you right there. And I'm going to be taken right there for that sandwich as soon as you cut that up, Anthony. Anthony, thank you very much for coming in today.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having us. And don't forget to stop by and check us out for American Craft Beer Week.
Sounds good. Oakenstone, many locations to serve you. We'll be right back.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Experience the Classical Music Celebration May 11th and 12th at the historic Sarasota Opera House. World-class musicians include guitar duo Charisma, currently touring with Andrea Bocelli. Tickets available online or by phone.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score. It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach. Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Coming up, what led to the sudden resignation of New York State's Attorney General. Plus, why the president at the University of Florida now apologizing after controversial actions by a staff member at a graduation ceremony. And what the city of Sarasota is doing to improve the quality of your drinking water.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story at 12:30, the stunning and sudden resignation of New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman. 4 women accused Schneiderman of physically assaulting them in a New Yorker article, and just 3 hours after the allegations surfaced, he resigned. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the fallout from the allegations.
One of the most powerful attorney generals in the country is now stepping down.
This is a stunning allegation and a stunning fall from grace.
New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman was an outspoken supporter of the Me Too movement.
We have never seen anything as despicable as what we've seen here.
Taking legal action against Harvey Weinstein and praising the brave men and women who spoke up about sexual harassment. But a new report in the New Yorker magazine features disturbing allegations from 4 women who accuse Schneiderman of physically attacking them on multiple occasions while they were in a relationship.
This was a brave thing that these women had to do. It was difficult for them. But also in this case, doubly so, because he is a power player within their worlds. These are all women closely connected to the Democratic Party in various ways.
Michelle Manning Barish and Tanya Silva-Ratnam, both Democrats and political activists, tell the magazine that Schneiderman would hit them, often after drinking, frequently in bed, and never with their consent. Manning Barish says she dated Schneiderman for nearly 2 years, telling The New Yorker that one night in his home, he just slapped me, open-handed and with great force across the face, landing the blow directly onto my ear. Schneiderman first denied the allegations, saying in the privacy of intimate relationships, I have engaged in role-playing and other consensual sexual activity. I have not assaulted anyone. But after announcing his resignation, he now says he strongly contests the accusations, but adding they will effectively prevent me from leading the office's work at this critical time. The press secretary for the Office of New York's Attorney General says that Barbara Underwood will be taking over as acting AG, citing her experience and the more than 20 cases she's argued before the Supreme Court. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Fair housing advocates are suing Ben Carson and the Department of Housing and Urban Development for suspending an Obama-era fair housing rule. That rule requires more than 1,200 communities getting billions of dollars in federal housing assistance to examine and address barriers to racial integration. 3 fair housing groups are part of the lawsuit, which claims Carson unlawfully suspended the rule by not giving proper public notice or an opportunity for public comment. HUD officials have yet to comment on that lawsuit. Fox News contributor Oliver North will be the National Rifle Association's new president. North served as the deputy director of the National Security Council under former President Ronald Reagan. He's a retired Marine lieutenant colonel and was a central figure in the Iran-Contra affair of the 1980s, which dealt with the illegal sale of arms to Iran. He was found guilty on charges related to the scandal, but had his convictions overturned by a federal judge. North is expected to begin his new role within a few weeks. An update now on the shooting death of a Central Florida sheriff's deputy who was shot in the head responding to a dispute over a cat in Highlands County. A vigil originally planned for tonight to honor Deputy William Gentry has now been rescheduled to tomorrow night. Deputy Gentry was flown to a trauma center in Lee County after a shooting at a Lake Placid home where a neighbor's cat had been shot. Gentry went to speak with a man accused of shooting the animal at his house. That's when investigators say 69-year-old Joseph Abels allegedly shot Gentry at the front door. Abels is in custody, and investigators say he's a convicted felon with a history of violence toward law enforcement. Tomorrow night's vigil will run from 5 to 9 o'clock in the evening in Lake Placid. And we're learning new details today about the controversial graduation video that's gone viral from the University of Florida. The staff member that escorted those graduates off stage is now being investigated by the university. The school has yet to release the staff member's name after several African-American students were quickly removed after dancing while crossing the stage. 2 students who were removed say they feel they were targeted because of the color of their skin. UF's president has since left them a personal voicemail apologizing, saying he was appalled by the staff member's actions. Happening today, it's time to thank the people who helped you expand your mind from an early age. This is National Teacher Appreciation Day. Political and education leaders began the discussion for a special day to honor teachers way back in 1944, but it wasn't made official by Congress until 1980. In 1985, the National PTA officially established Teacher Appreciation Week as the first full week of May. The National Education Association says National Teacher Day is a day for honoring teachers and recognizing the lasting contributions they make to our lives. I think we should appreciate them every day.
Don't you know that's true?
Yeah, because they do awesome work for our children.
They sure do.
Yeah.
Miss McConaughey, 4th grade.
Oh,
That
yeah?
was mine. Yeah, absolutely.
Your favorite?
Yeah, well, the favorite, I think the one that started me on a path of enjoying going to school each and every day. You know, she was amazing.
That's important.
Yep. You got one?
I would say the one I remember most from high school, Mr. Maggio.
See, everybody's got one, I
Yeah.
think. Everybody's got one. They're very important. Thank you, teachers.
Yep.
Beautiful day outside, looking for lots of sunshine. Lakewood Ranch webcam shows lots of blue out there. Now, Lakewood Ranch and points to the east, maybe a few more clouds around, a few fair weather clouds, but not many. It's mostly blue sky out there. We are continuing to see rain-free skies throughout the afternoon, and all that sunshine kind of combining with a very stable atmosphere and a little bit of oxygen and other ingredients in the atmosphere helping to produce perhaps some lower level ozone that might be a little bit too high. We'll see how it plays out, but over the course of the next hour or two, we should be getting some readings in here about what the ozone is for today. No rainfall in the forecast to kind of wash away any of those pollutants, and so consequently, as the sun interacts with the oxygen in the atmosphere, you kind of get those caustic gas, that ozone beginning to build, and for very unhealthy respiratory systems or young children or the elderly, you know, it might not be such a good thing to have any kind of strenuous exercise out of doors today. We'll see what those numbers are in just a few hours. Satellite view shows plenty of sunshine, UV index way high, and the air temperatures across the region homing in on that mid-80s. We'll top it out today near 90 with no rain in the forecast. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, John. An area college student is dedicating his life to helping young cancer patients, and Jake Taraska has good reason. He was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer as a 2-year-old toddler. He says support from doctors as well as family and friends like Lakewood Ranch resident Dick Vitale saved his life.
So I feel like ever since I was diagnosed, my most important goal is to just give back to those people and just to give back to the kids that are going through what I went through.
Jake will be among the cancer survivors at this Friday night's annual Dick Vitale Gala. You can get more information about tickets to the event on our website or by calling 350-0580. Tomorrow at 6, ABC 7's Ray Collins will tell us more about Jake's foundation that is dedicated to helping young cancer patients. 3 projects are approved to help with traffic backups in downtown Sarasota and the nearby Keys. The main focus of these projects, heading to and from St. Armand Circle over the Ringling Bridge from the downtown area. City Commissioners unanimously approving 3 projects that add the lane over the Ringling Causeway for mass transit like trolleys, lowering the speed limit to 35 miles an hour in that area, and adding an additional turn lane.
They're very important. It's all part of an overall plan to really improve the circulation between downtown and the St. Armands area.
I think, you know, it's affecting, I'm sure, the real estate eventually on Longboat Key and people going to dinner at St. Armands. I mean, I won't think about going out there during the season because it's just going to take way too long.
City officials say these projects would also open the way for state funding, but it could take anywhere from months to years to make these projects happen. City of Sarasota says tap water could use some improvements, and the city is working to try to fix its quality. The city officials conducting a taste test with residents over the weekend, and out of 5 samples, Sarasota's tap water received the lowest rating based on taste, odor, and appearance. Right now, the city has 2 water sources and 2 treatment processes. One does not remove the sulfur from the water, which is why the taste is not that great. They've partnered with the University of Central Florida now to look at ways to fix it.
In terms of our drinking water solution, then what we'll do is we'll actually conduct additional taste tests throughout the year and as we move forward and so on, because we want to get our residents' input as to whether or not what we're doing actually meets their expectations. It's something that they would drink.
The students at UCF are working to determine how to remove the sulfur in the most cost-efficient way. Their first study results are expected to be released in October. Happening today, school and city officials will address security concerns at Sarasota High School. Right now, a stretch of School Avenue runs right through the campus. Pedestrians and bike riders can use that road to gain open access to school grounds while students are on campus. The school district wants to add a temporary gate to limit sidewalk access while school's in session, and then eventually shut down the road. But first, the school district has to get approval by the city of Sarasota. The two groups will hold a joint meeting on that issue tonight at 6 at Sarasota City Hall. And the city of Sarasota honoring the late host of ABC7's Black Almanac. Yesterday at City Hall, Fort Lauderdale area Congressman Elsie Hastings was on hand to present an American flag to the family of Dr. Ed James. They also received an award from the office of Congressman Vern Buchanan. Dr. James's son, Edward III, spoke on behalf of the family.
Dad had a legacy that could cover the entire United States, and for us, the most important thing that we're trying to do is continue to see that his work doesn't stop, that we continue to fight for equality, freedom, and justice.
Dr. James was the host of Black Almanac here on ABC7 for nearly 40 years, the longest-running public affairs TV show in the Southeast. He passed away in March at the age of 78. Still to come in your Suncoast News, everyone could use some extra cash, right? We'll show you how you can make some more green from the comfort of your own home.
At Tidewell Hospice, we know it's never too late to say thank you to our military veterans. The Tidewell Honors Veterans Program has provided care to more than 13,000 military families since 2008. Tidewell volunteers help honor veterans through special pinning ceremonies that demonstrate our appreciation for the freedom our veterans fought to defend. If you know a veteran who can benefit from end-of-life care, call or visit tidewell.org today. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app. Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we'll see our temperatures climb up today to about where they were yesterday, 90 degrees or so, maybe even a degree warmer than that. Wouldn't be surprised. No rain in the forecast for you this afternoon. But the thing is, with a nice breeze out of the east or northeast, and it's a dry wind at that, it'll feel kind of comfortable even with those warmer temperatures for those of us who are not big humidity fans. Talking about myself here. It should be okay. And then as we head into the evening, 85 degrees. It'll be great, be lovely with that breeze continuing on and getting kind of gusty at times. And then overnight, bottoming out around 65 degrees by the time you wake up in the morning and start moving around a little bit. 85 degrees, the current air temperature. Dew point value, as I mentioned, just so low. It's just really comfortable. 57 degrees. Won't be long before that starts climbing again. East wind coming in at about 11. Temperature change since 24 hours ago? Well, not that much. It's about the same, really. Maybe a degree or two warmer in some locations. But for the most part, we are looking at pretty much the same kind of conditions we had yesterday at this hour, with slightly warmer conditions because the winds have shifted a little bit more east as opposed to the northwest that they were yesterday. We'll continue on with that easterly, northeasterly wind flow, maybe picking up a little bit of a sea breeze right along the coastline, keeping the coast a tad bit cooler. Inland temperatures certainly easily in the 90s, and then as we head into the overnight, we'll start to see temperatures fall into the 60s. Well, this computer model kind of tends to want to show A little bit of fog forming in inland areas overnight tonight. I'm going to respectfully disagree with that computer model and say that we will not see any fog develop. But we will have some very starry skies and a lovely morning again tomorrow with that low relative humidity making the air feel kind of crisp. Big ridge of high pressure continues to sit over the deep south. We have storminess occurring in parts of the western Great Lakes, and that low pressure area responsible for that continues to trek eastward tomorrow, providing the potential of some strong storms up around St. Louis. For us, high pressure builds in. The frontal boundary stalls out to the north and waits there till the weekend, when it will lift back northward as a warm front, bring moisture back our way, and set the stage potentially for a few scattered rain showers Saturday and Sunday. Forecast calls for some nice conditions out on the waters. Northwest wind at about 15 knots. You'll have a moderate chop out there. And today, topping it out at 90. We'll do about the same tomorrow as well as on Thursday. All of these days will feature rain-free skies and a nice little breeze in the afternoon. Then as we get into Friday, winds twist. We get some humidity working back in, and over the weekend perhaps a shower or maybe even a thunderstorm or two, and that will carry on into the beginning of next work week. Humidity will be back full force. Back to you, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. We have an update now on that road closure on Longboat Key. We have now just learned that the road, Gulf of Mexico Drive on the north end of Longboat Key, is now back open to traffic, both north and southbound. It was closed earlier this morning after a fatal crash there. A pedestrian was hit and killed there. It was hit by two vehicles. Troopers were investigating the scene there and closed that road for several hours. But again, just a few minutes ago, police and the Florida Highway Patrol have reopened Gulf of Mexico Drive on the north end of Longboat Key. In consumer news, looking to score a little extra cash on the side, but maybe you aren't able to work a second job? ABC7's Stephanie Webb has some tips from a money-saving expert on some easy ways to make money without leaving the comfort of your couch.
These days, you don't have to leave home to watch a movie, order in some dinner, or even get your groceries. So how would you also like to make a little extra cash without even having to leave your couch? Well, Lisa Cohen from the Penny Hoarder has a few suggestions.
You're not going to become a millionaire by doing these things, but you can make some extra cash that'll help you cover your expenses for your average household.
First, love those courtroom shows? Well, then how about being an online mock juror?
A mock juror is someone who helps lawyers prepare for trial by helping them figure out what issues might come up during a trial.
This one you can literally do right from your couch and just involves some reading.
You'll do it online and you'll look at evidence pieces, you'll look at different arguments and different documents from the trial, and just offer your opinions and answer questions for the attorneys. You can earn $10 to $60 for doing this right from your own home.
Next, so what do you do with all that old baby gear that your kids have grown out of? Well, rent it online and make some extra bucks.
So this is a service called GoBaby that allows you to rent out your baby supplies for traveling parents so they don't need to bring everything to the destination with them.
That's right, from strollers to beach tents, even to cribs. If it's in good condition, you can put it up for rent and make some easy money on GoBaby.
So I just looked up a local listing today, and it's someone who is renting out a car seat base, and you can get it for $10 a day or $50 for a whole week.
So maybe you don't have baby stuff, but do you have an extra car that doesn't get used much? Kids away at college and not using theirs? Well, you can even rent your own car for the week at the website Turo.com. Even easier, how about filling out some surveys? That's right, there are a few survey websites that will pay you just for filling them out. So, no, you probably can't quit your day job anytime soon, but these are just a few easy and extra ways to bring in some cash. Stephanie Webb, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Since April, there have been more than 25 food recalls, according to the FDA. Many of those items were recalled for salmonella. A family and consumer agent with the University of Florida's Extension Office in Sarasota says those best by and sell-by dates on some foods are not required by federal law. But one of the officials there says although this may be true, items like eggs and milk should be consumed within a few days after the sell-by date.
Once you open milk and it's on the sell-by date, I would say within 3 days that should be consumed. Again, depending upon how it's handled in your home and if your refrigerator is the proper temperature. Using eggs by those sell-by dates is important. I wouldn't linger too far past that. maybe a day or so, but not beyond that.
She says the way you handle food in stores and makes it all the difference as well. She says your fridge should be set between 30 and 40 degrees to ensure freshness and safety of all your food. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how one senior citizen is putting the pedal to the metal to prove age is just a number.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Experience the classical music celebration May 11th and 12th at the historic Sarasota Opera House. World-class musicians include guitar duo Charisma, currently touring with Andrea Bocelli. Tickets available online or by phone.
Mark Zupan, part of the U.S. Paralympic rugby team. In my game, movement is everything. I get frustrated when my move is blocked, especially when that guy has no right to be there, even just for a minute. I love a challenge, but I don't like to play this game every day.
A message from the United Spinal Association.
I'll be right back.
Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android.
This is awesome.
You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Dear parents, it's time for a pop quiz. What's the best kind of play for kids? Play that makes us think? Or helps us pretend? Or teaches us rules? Or to be creative? Actually, every kind of play is important because different kinds of play give us different kinds of skills. Help us mix up the ways we play. Okay, class dismissed. Now go play.
Each day, researchers make discoveries that bring us closer to the moment when all cancer patients can become survivors. Their progress is made possible with the help of clinical trials. Clinical trials are the brightest torch researchers have to light their way towards better treatments. And if you've been diagnosed with cancer, they may be your brightest ray of hope. Speak with your doctor and visit standuptocancer.org/clinical trials to learn more. Together, we can stand up for all of us.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
In entertainment news, the Kennedy Center is taking several honors away from Bill Cosby, and the Cannes Film Festival starts tonight in France. ABC's Jason Nathanson has today's Showbiz Wrap.
Two more big honors snatched away from Bill Cosby. The Kennedy Center says it's rescinding Cosby's 1998 Kennedy Center honor and its 2009 Mark Twain Prize for American Humor. Both distinctions are awarded to people in the performing arts who have had a big impact on American culture. The Kennedy Center says Cosby's sex assault conviction now overshadows his accomplishments. The Cannes Film Festival kicks off tonight, and in the era of the Time's Up movement, many have noticed that of the 21 films in competition, only 3 are directed by women. The director of the Cannes Film Festival, Thierry Frémaux, says this year is an anomaly, pointing out that in all of film, only about 7% of the directors are women, but at Cannes, the number is usually around 20%. In the history of Cannes, only one woman has ever won the top prize, Jane Campion, in 1993 for The Piano. A couple of records for rapper Post Malone. His new album, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, just delivered the largest streaming week ever, a massive 431.3 million streams, beating Drake's More Life in 2017. That helped Malone hit #1 on the Billboard 200 album chart with the biggest combined sales and streaming week so far this year. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
For the first time in history, a royal wedding will be shown in theaters. Fathom Events and BBC Studios teaming up to bring Harry and Meghan, the royal wedding, to more than 200 movie theaters across the country. The broadcast of the ceremony will be captured live from Windsor Castle and then screened in theaters at 10 a.m. local time. Now, if you wanted to catch the live coverage, you'd have to wake up early, 6:30 a.m. local time, to see the ceremony, so this is an alternative for those who don't want to get up so early. Finally, a not-so-typical speed demon, 90-year-old Herschel McGriff, praised after competing in an official NASCAR-sanctioned event on Arizona's Tucson Speedway. McGriff took part in 2 races and also played the national anthem on his trombone. NASCAR has no maximum age rule, but requires drivers to pass a physical. McGriff was a NASCAR driver in his youth. He won 4 races back in 1954, but he made history with his latest performance, becoming the oldest driver ever to compete in a NASCAR-sanctioned event. 90 years young.
That guy's 90?
Can you believe that?
Wow.
Doesn't look it at all, does he?
He looked great. Looked absolutely great.
And drives better than all of us,
Wow.
right? That's awesome.
I'd love to drive a car like that. Just once. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It would be. So is the weather. It's fun outside, too. Nice, dry air. Beautiful. Bob will give you the latest on that ozone count later on today.
Have a great day, everyone. See you later.